Cowboy fans, congratulations on your playoff win. However, Bucs brought you up just for the 49ers to stomp you back down.
What happened?
Whoa. This upcoming week.
The 49ers are going to stomp them down, he says.
That'll probably be a good game, but they're going to lose.
We're making our predictions for the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. Obviously, we had a crazy wild card weekend, except for I guess the Cowboys game was kind of crazy.
No, that's not.
Missing 3 extra points.
Four
Extra points.
That was hilarious.
That's the craziest part about it.
If that's what you're talking about from that game, you want to call it crazy, that means it's a trash game.
It was a trash game.
It was a trash game.
Yeah.
That's what we expect
Buccaneers
from wild
poop.
card weekend, truthfully. It's just absolute stompings. We didn't get too many of those this week, which was nice. Just 2, I think.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
The good
That's
games
it.
outweigh the bad.
This one was the worst one.
Yeah. All right. We'll start off. We'll start off in the NFC. We'll go right with the Cowboys versus the 49ers. So, Joe, you already kind of said what you have to say. So, go ahead. Elaborate on it. Why are the 49ers going to smack the Cowboys?
But
They're
first,
not
make
going to
that full
smack the Cowboys. I do think that'll be a good game.
Full screen.
What? Oh, shoot. Why does it do that? It just
Comments down below. I know everybody was commenting about it, but don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it.
Dang, they're 4-point underdogs, the Cowboys. The one thing that gets me nervous,
Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy still.
He looked the best quarterback out of anybody in Wild Card Weekend. What do you mean?
Cowboys
332 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Cowboys can get
No,
to
the
him.
Cowboys can get to the
rookie.
Buccaneers because the whole Buccaneers offensive line was
And
depleted.
that
And I
is
said
true.
it 100
Look,
times before
I
the
have
game
the
started.
49ers winning this game. But Brock Purdy still just makes he played great.
He's a rookie.
He played phenomenal. But
See, why? Is it literally just
Do you have
the
a new
title
respect
of
for the?
rookie?
Do you have a new respect for the Cowboys?
Heck no.
You should.
If they beat the 49ers, I will have a new respect for the Cowboys.
But they just beat the Buccaneers. There's no respect.
No.
You didn't give them a chance.
No, I didn't.
They need a little bit of respect. The one thing that's nervous about me for the Cowboys, you're right. I agree. They're on like this high after stomping the Buccaneers, whereas the Bills and the Bengals had this scare, which I feel like can really put them into like goblin mode this next game versus each other. Whereas the Dallas Cowboys might think they're like top stuff whenever in reality they're really not. That's where I feel like that blowout
That's kind of how
can
I feel
negatively
about the Giants
impact
also.
them.
Yeah, I could see it. So
The Giants know that they're like definitely underdogs going into that.
Yeah.
So Joe has the 49ers win that game. Who do you have winning that
I have
game?
the 49ers. They're going to the Super Bowl. Easy.
Really?
Easy.
Okay. And who do you have winning that
I'm
game?
sticking with it, dog. You already
Okay.
know.
Well,
49ers.
I have a difference of opinions. I think the Cowboys are going to win that game.
You are. You
Yep.
think that they're going to win that game?
Yep.
What are the Cowboys gonna do that
Shuts
is
down
gonna,
all of the 49ers.
yeah, like what are they going to do?
Their defensive pressure is going to get to the rookie QB.
That's the only hope they have.
That's
That
the
is
only hope they have.
only hope that
Yep.
they have.
I
don't
agree.
think it's going to happen.
And I think if they can execute on offense the way they did against the Buccaneers,
And I don't see them doing that. Dak is going to have like a 2-pick game. 2 interceptions against the
I don't know
Well,
that.
that's the thing though, because he was near perfect versus
Yeah.
the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
It was his first
Yeah.
game in a while that he hadn't thrown
Yep.
an interception.
Yeah.
Bucks
was.
stink.
He almost
The Bucks do stink, dude. That was so bad.
They're poop.
49ers defense is a completely different animal. Best in the league.
I could see this being a close game, but I don't know.
I agree.
Dude, I have no doubts about Brock
I will
Purdy.
say,
Neither do I.
I feel comfortable with him.
well, I have a lot of doubts about Dak Prescott, but I will say the 49ers secondary was questionable against Seattle. But I still doubt Dak Prescott.
Well, that was the one flaw that we talked about for the 49ers in that first half was their secondary because Metcalf was cooking them, Lockett was cooking them a bit. Like Seattle's offense did look pretty good, and Kenneth Walker was running fairly well against them too.
Yeah, at the end of the game, they kind of slowed that down and kind of shut that down. But again, yeah, I mean, you're going to need to play that against. I think the Cowboys. I mean, there's no doubt in our mind that the Cowboys are better than the Seahawks, but
yeah,
I feel like they're going to be relentless the entire game.
It's Dak Prescott.
The-
dude. I'm sorry.
There's also that stat. No team with 10 plus on a 10-game win streak has made it past the divisional round.
It's a different time, young blood. It's a different time.
There's also a stat which I wanted to bring up, which kind of might shift my thoughts about the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl.
Okay,
Nice.
what's
That-
that?
I'm
that'd be
gonna
very
keep
smart.
it. I'm gonna keep it. But there has not been a single quarterback ever that has taken up more than 12.5% of the team's cap space that has won a Super Bowl. And the Bills QB does, the Chiefs QB does,
Okay.
the Cowboys QB does,
49ers definitely don't.
and the 49 no, 40 and, yeah. So that's the one thing that I don't know. It's just a weird stat that hasn't happened yet, so I don't know.
Okay.
The Bengals don't.
No.
I mean, a lot of
yet.
times, like those are very quarterback-led teams. Like I look at the Bills and Chiefs, and they have a lot of good surrounding pieces with them. That's why I feel like this year could be different.
But wait, they had that last year.
Who, the Bills and Chiefs?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were two of the best teams.
But the Bills didn't win it last year.
Well, they should have won it last year.
Oh my god. I thought this is the year of the Bills.
This is the year of the Bills.
Well, let's go to the Bills-Bengals game. This is the game everybody wanted to happen in the divisional round, and
Yes.
here it is. Bengals versus Bills.
So I'm actually surprised because the Bills are coming in at like 5-point favorites coming into this game.
4.5.
4.5 now, which is that's kind of surprising.
It's in Buffalo.
surprisingly
So
high.
that's
I
3
mean,
points.
So
they're
was the game
basically
versus
giving them a-
Miami.
Bengals love being that
1.5.
underdog, dude.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Give me the Bengals on this one.
That's
No lie, this is going to be a very good game. I agree. Last week, they're going to come in this week. They're going to play balls out.
So, yeah.
It's going to be a good game.
In my opinion, this is going to be this year's game of the Chiefs versus the Bills. What is that, last year? Like, this game, I think, is going to be an incredible game. I think it's going to come down literally to the wire. It's going to be like no biting action the entire time. I think both teams, like you mentioned, are going to be playing full steam. They both want this win for, various different reasons. And, again, I think the Bengals are going to come out on top. I think it's going to be a very, very close game. But give me them Bengals, baby.
Their offensive line.
So-
I know.
So you're all in on the Bills.
I ain't backing down, dude.
Like,
I am not back. I mean, I agree. I think this is going to be like one of the best games of the season here. I don't necessarily think it's going to be a super high scoring game, but I do
I
think
don't
it's
think it
good.
needs to be.
I don't exactly, but
Yeah.
I don't think it needs to be a great game. I think
What-
it's going to be a great game.
what are your concerns with the Bills? Like, what if the Bengals are to win? What's the one thing that's going to slow the Bills
I
down?
mean, obviously it's Josh Allen's turnovers, but truthfully, like the Bengals, their run game has struggled. The offensive line has struggled.
Yeah.
They
lost 3 pieces in the offensive line. That's huge.
Right, which is a little bit concerning to me.
Yeah, but if it wasn't for last year having their offensive line below and they still made it to the Super Bowl,
Right.
that's the only thing that makes me think, okay, they can still do it.
Right, I know. You're not wrong. And they still can because the Bengals are a great team.
Yeah.
The Bengals are a freaking great team. I genuinely believe that. And then, I don't know, for Buffalo, like I feel like James Cook's emerging a little bit right now. He looked pretty decent in the wild card
Yeah.
game. And he seems like he's taking over
Dude.
Devin Singletary. So, I don't know.
Does either of these teams' wild card game affect this game? Does the Dolphins-Bills game affect the Bills? Does the Ravens-Bengals game affect the Bengals at all?
I really don't think so.
And it could be in a positive way, too.
I don't think
Well,
so.
I mean, it's a wake-up call for both of these teams.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. It's a shame that they're both playing each other because they both got woke up in wild card weekend
Yeah.
because they both absolutely could have lost.
But that's good, though, because that, in my opinion, shows that this is going to be a good matchup. I
Yeah.
think both teams are like, oh,
Yeah.
crap, like, we can't do this against this team. We got to show up against this team right here.
Yeah. The last thing, Tre'Davious White coming back, he definitely made his presence known in the wild
yeah.
card game, like for sure. That's going to be a sick matchup versus Jamar Chase. Like you're not going to be able to shut him down completely, but having Tre'Davious White there
Yeah.
is
That
a
helps.
huge plus for the Bills because he actually looked pretty good in my opinion.
I think
in
their
that
game
wild
plan
card
should
game.
be like what the Chargers was in the first half of the Jags game because they can't throw deep because their bird don't got time to throw deep. So you just keep everyone pressured up.
Well, yeah, that's actually what I wanted
Honestly,
to talk
like-
about in the Chiefs Jaguars game. What who do you have?
This is such a tough one for me because I don't have any attachment to either of these teams. Like nothing, there's nothing favoring either team for me right here. There's absolutely nothing. So I'm gonna go Bengals. But man, this is a game where it's like literally flip a coin,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
So did you switch from your original pick or what?
No, I had this matchup and then I had
So
the
I'm the
Bengals
only one
winning.
that had the Bills getting past
did
the
I?
Bengals.
I think you might have had the Bills.
I think somebody else definitely had the Bengals.
No, because we had the same thing.
Did we?
We had the
Okay,
same thing,
okay,
and
yeah,
you had the Bengals winning, and I had the Chiefs winning. So yeah, I do have the Bengals winning, and I'll stick with it. But this game is such a coin toss. It's such a coin toss to me. But go ahead, Jags and Chiefs.
So what I see the Chiefs looking at what the Chargers did that first half.
8.5-point favorites.
Wow.
That's aggressive.
That's
I'll put my money
aggressive.
on Jacksonville plus 8.5. But I see the Chiefs doing exactly what the Chargers did in the first half, pressing up. But they don't have the corners in secondary to be able to do that. But
It could be that thing though, where the Jags put everything they had into that game. They just come into this week and just kind of.
I mean, sure, in the second half, they put everything they had into it. The first half, they didn't put anything into it. So maybe they should at least have one half to give.
I wonder what half they're going to use it on.
I don't know. I would not count the Jaguars out.
I'm not.
I would not count the Jaguars out.
Believe it or
Trevor
not.
Lawrence actually looks freaking great.
Believe it or
like,
not. I'm not counting.
Second half, but I mean, towards the end of the season.
I'm not counting any of these teams that are still alive out. I think that the Jaguars could beat the Chiefs. I think the Giants could even beat the Eagles if it potentially comes to it, truthfully. That's another divisional game. But again, sticking with this game, I think it's going to be another hard-fought battle, and I'm actually really excited to watch this game. I think the Chiefs are going to try to do exactly what you mentioned with the Chargers, but I think they're going to try to do it for the full game. But I don't think it's going to work as well as the Chargers, had it work. I think the Jaguars are expecting it now. I think they have a game plan for that because they don't want to go down by 27 points again.
Yeah.
So I think they're kind of, targeting around that. And they have a lot of momentum going into this game. They didn't expect to be here. They might have been like, all right, we're going to win this. But you seen by how they partied. You seen by how they reacted. They didn't expect them to be here. So I think they're kind of like, oh, crap, we did this. We're not as bad as people thought we were. Yeah. So see what's going to happen.
The Jaguars, I noticed, they're really good in the short to medium pass game. Yeah. They have the receivers for that. The Chiefs shut that down. The Jaguars are going to have massive problems.
Yeah.
But with all that being said, I'm still taking the Chiefs.
Yeah, I got to take the Chiefs too. I mean, this isn't supposed to be the Jaguars' year. No. So them just getting one playoff win, I feel like, is more than enough for them. For now. I mean, because it shows for the future big time. That's big for them. I mean, to even be in the playoffs from where they started.
And again, look at next year. I mean, they're going to build on their team, and they're getting Calvin Ridley as well, which who knows how he's going to do. But again, that's another weapon for Trevor Lawrence to kind of, hopefully exploit. So I could see the Jaguars being good, especially in that division where we talk about how a lot of those teams don't know what they're doing right now. So it's the Jaguars' time.
It's their time. It definitely is. Just not versus the Chiefs.
Just not the Chiefs.
Again, I'm not rolling them completely out though, but I mean that would definitely. Dang, if they beat the Chiefs, that's gonna be like one of the bigger Cinderella stories in the NFL playoffs that we've seen in a pretty long time.
Do we think the Jags could beat the Bengals or the Bills?
If they beat the Chiefs, I think they could.
I mean, sure. Why not?
Yeah. I wouldn't pick them, but I don't think it's like 100% rolled out.
Their QB does not take up more than 12.5% of their cap space.
That's true. They want to go to Waffle House again, dude. So they want to get this win.
He's about to be taken up.
You
got to figure it out.
Then the last game, the Giants and the Eagles.
Yeah.
7.5 point spread here.
For the Eagles.
I think I'd also take the Giants plus 7.5.
Yeah.
With what we've seen with these divisional matchups, dude, it's just bound to be close. The Eagles haven't looked as good. I would like to give the Giants some credit because they won a playoff game after I called them frauds.
Nice.
But it's because they beat the fraud freaking Vikings, who were more frauds, I guess. But
so
I would actually like to say that was the first game I was genuinely really impressed with the New York Giants.
It's a good thing it's a playoff game.
I was genuinely impressed with Daniel Jones specifically. Their defense actually looked fairly decent. I mean,
so if they beat the Eagles, can we dance on you for 30 seconds?
Sure, I don't care.
Nice.
The Giants can win. I'm not buying into the hype from that Vikings win though, because the Vikings can make any team look good. So.
Well, that's kind of what I'm like going with here. But
the biggest concern for the Eagles is the time off they've had. Because Jalen Hurts hasn't played in
time off they had, and they did not enter the postseason hot. Whatsoever.
Nope. Then we know that's important.
That's
so important.
Very important.
You're coming into the playoffs like on a little bit of a slump. That's never good, whether you're the 1 seed or not. It's dangerous because they've looked their worst this season very recently.
Yep.
I just think the Eagles secondary. I know they've looked off, but against the
Giants, who they have to cover? Isaiah Hodgins, Darius.
I don't see the Giants pulling this.
They look good against the Vikings. I don't know.
Everybody does.
I know, but
the Patriots look good against. Like anybody looks good against the Vikings. It's not
like if Daniel Jones has that kind of game against.
He has to do it with his feet again.
He's not throwing for 300 plus yards and running for 70 again against the Eagles.
He could.
I do not see that happening.
He could.
They need to get very sneaky on offense, read options, let Daniel Jones run the football.
Yeah.
Honestly, he's going to have to run for another 75 yards.
I think it's going to be a good game, but I don't. I got the Eagles.
Good game
I got the Eagles.
I'm going to stick with the Eagles.
Is Saquon going to have a game?
He has to.
He needs to. You're right. Is he going to?
He doesn't necessarily have a choice.
Man.
I see him being used a lot in the receiving game.
Yeah, I think he's gonna have a game.
Okay. All right.
I don't know,
He's back
dude.
and he's full in action. Like he looks great.
good.
I mean,
I think he'll have a good
he made his presence known in the wild card. The 2 touchdowns. He had a big one.
I'm gonna make this fun. I'm gonna go to the New York Giants.
I was gonna say a part of me wants to pick the Giants so bad, but again, it is all hype. But again, hype can win a team a game.
This
you know?
is the only upset I'd be willing to pick.
Yeah.
If I had to put my money on it, I wouldn't pick the Jags. This is the only upset I would pick.
I'm gonna go. Why not? I'm gonna go Giants. I think the Giants are gonna win here. I think Daniel Jones is gonna stick with that momentum. I think he's gonna have another really good game. And again, I think the Eagles have kind of been going downhill, like we mentioned. So I feel like this is gonna be the perfect storm for the New York Giants to get one more win this
I
season.
was gonna say that's something that could happen. If Daniel Jones goes off, Saquon goes off, they have a really close game and they pull it off, or the Eagles are gonna smack the heck out of them, and blow them out by 50.
The Eagles won 48-22 whenever they played the first time. But Saquon,
That was before Daniel Jones turned
Saquon
it
only
up.
had 28 yards that game.
That's
Don't know if he got hurt or
in the
not.
receiving game for sure.
Well, he only had 2 catches, 20 yards that game. I don't know.
I'm sticking with the Eagles.
I'm sticking with the Eagles too.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick them.
I'm sticking with the Eagles, and like no offense, but I'm just rooting here for like the better championship matchups and whatnot.
That's all I did the wild card round. I would have been so mad if the Dolphins won or if the Ravens won.
Listen, I'm rooting here for my entertainment purposes.
Yep.
But hey, I mean,
But if the Giants show up in this game, dude, wouldn't that be an exciting NFC
no, that would definitely be
championship?
exciting.
Yeah.
I mean,
If the Giants won, I would actually want the Cowboys to win because then it would be another divisional game. That'd be cool.
sure.
Oh, they'll win. Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, man. Honestly, I might be rooting for the Giants to win, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Cool.
3 teams in the NFC East are in the divisional round.
Yep.
That's wild.
Good for them. And just a few years ago, they were the NFC least.
I mean, a few. Last year, they were the NFC least.
Sure.
Dang, only one way to find out, and that's
Let
watching
us know
it.
who your 4 picks are. Put them in the comments. Rank them with how confident you are, okay? I want to see it. We will see you down in the comment section. You have a great day, everybody. More playoffs to come soon.